you.
What Speaking Freedom does online is provide general information for the culture to use to advance and improve. What we do privately is help individualize it for your needs and benefits. Grow with us.
We are kings, we are gods, but how you get them to believe it when they don't believe in anything? We're going to save some lives in this lifetime. We haven't church in a while. Like God's doctor in the streets, the Holy Ghost used me to set them free. If love is the new religion, the hate is sinning, we stay winning. Just handling God's business, we ain't tripping. No bread to be dipping.
Cause we're speaking freedom, giving you the answers to be free.
We use the client to develop, to grow, and to bring out the best in themselves. We are simply a tool to help you learn how to make better decisions. Not just one decision, not just today, but for the rest of your life. Encouraging each person through each trial and tribulation.
Okay, so early. It is 8:51, June 16, 2020. And I wanted to record this as I come into the office because I went to sleep early and now can't sleep in late. Because I heard about a minute and 45 seconds of Nick Cannon's show prior to him deleting all of his posts, prior to him apologizing unnecessarily for at least the part of the thing that I heard. What I heard was not any falsities. It was not any lies. It was not anything said that was incorrect on any level. So I wanted to get on today. I'll show you. I wanted to get on today to talk about the history of humans. This is actually a subject that I have discussed on my Instagram feed some years back. I believe that Nick might have quoted me almost perfectly the thought process or my thought process about the nature in which we see human beings today. Now, I say it like that because one, and first and foremost, is that if it has been scientifically proven that all humans come from the primate human that came from Africa, if we are all from Africa, if the first human was a black person, then we have to let's really break down what it means to be a human, because literally the thought process of being a human, a Homo sapien, which is a human being, we need to understand that there are different types of humans. There is a history of at least 9 different variations of humans. Now, I was looking this up on my phone that I'm on, but I am going to look it up on my computer since I am sitting right in front of it now. Now, I am currently working on the Judas Theory, so in the book, and which was quite interesting, to say the least, because Jewish people, Judas is a person in the Bible, whether fictitious or a fictitious character or a real person. Judas is the person in the Bible who was the treasurer, I believe, to some extent, and ended up selling his leader out for money. Denarii, or whatever it was called back in that time. But that kind of arrested my attention this morning and was some of the reason why I was not able to go back to sleep, because as I am working on the Judas chapter in spiritual human behavior, and the comments that were made about the history of Homo sapiens in general, really struck me, and I couldn't go back to sleep because the Jewish people, Jewish people are offended by something that Nick said. Now, I'm not sure if he was offensive because he said that Black people were the original Hebrews, which would not be a falsity if Black people was the original people on the planet to begin with. But I want to go ahead and look up, I'm going to do it while I'm on here. Because there are at least 9 different species of human, Homo sapiens, and we have been disenfranchised or uneducated or not properly advised about the history of our world. Based on what we know, just the basic foundation is that there are Black people, there are white people, there are Asian people, there are Hispanic people, there are Indonesian people, and etc. However, what we don't know is the history of mankind, and we base a lot of what we believe on only the Bible, and it is more to history than what's documented in the Bible. The person who wrote the Bible wasn't even around for any of the things that he's speaking of or depicting in the Bible itself. So it is a broad overview of one person's view of what may have occurred in history, and everybody is believing it to be true, regardless if there is any facts to it, regardless of the actual history that can be tracked and documented. It's so much that religion controls that is really sickening to my stomach and hindering to the soul. Because, man, the history of human is so deep and so long, and it really, really surpasses knowledge. So I just went and did a brief overview on Jewish people. And the Jews are based on the 12 tribes that are in the Bible. Now, what I will say struck and strikes me is that these are things that I've noticed, and these are things that I talk about regularly because of the similarities. So one of the things that strikes me about the way that we believe and what we believe is that along with the 12 months of the calendar, which time in technical form does not truly exist, we document a physical calendar because of time keeping tracking purposes, kind of for history, kind of for our own self. And the 12 months is funny to me and striking to me because there are 12 months in a calendar. There are the 12 tribes of the Bible. There are I believe close to or just about 9 to 12 zodiac signs, which coincides with the planets and the universal structure. And And so, and then it also coincides with the original amount of Homo sapiens that were on the planet. So, but for the most part, there are quote unquote 8 planets, but there used to be documented as 12 or 13 planets. And I don't know if that is including the sun and or Earth. But yes, so 12 planets of the solar system listed proximately to the sun would be Mercury. So it does not include the sun, but it does include the Earth. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Ceres, Ceres, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Charon, Charon, and previously named in 2003 UB313. So there are approximately 12 planets, 12 months. Let me see. I'm looking this up while I'm talking to you. I would show my computer, but I don't want anybody to be encouraged to think that I got something worth stealing, because I literally buy I don't want to say the cheapest of everything, but I am very cost efficient, and I do not overindulge in spending money on things that can be stolen, broken, or displaced. So yeah, so and there are 12 zodiac signs. So for me, the 12 tribes, the 12 months, the 12 zodiac signs, and various other things that come in the quantity of 12 allows my brain to conceptualize that there is more going on than that meets the eyes, and that we have to open our minds to the truth. I mean, and when I say the truth, I mean like facts, like super facts, not Bible facts that are strategically placed together to give you a summarized version of the history of the world, the planet, the universe even, and what to make of it. So the first thing I did was I looked up what Jews, because I wanted to figure out why Jewish people are so mad. So who are the Jews and why are they upset? And what I gathered from Britannica is that the Jewish people are, one, Judaism is a religion. I hate religion because all it does is divide to conquer. So first off, Judaism is a religion. A Jewish person is not a human description of a person. That is the description of a religious tribe that is noted in the Bible, basically. Like, so to be an offense, to be in offense because something does not depict you as being superior is oppressive, first and foremost, and it is misleading because Judaism is a religion. A Jew is not a person. That is a portion of a religious belief. Any person whose religion is Judaism is considered a Jew. In the broader sense of the term, a Jew is any person belonging to the worldwide group that constitutes, through descendant or conversion, a continuation of an ancient Jewish people, who were themselves descendant of Hebrews of the Bible, Old Testament. So I think that they're mad because Nick said that black people, melanated people, people that absorb the sun naturally. Okay, so melanin is the pigment of the skin that allows us to be brown, that allows the sun to absorb into our souls, where vitamin D comes from. The original source of vitamin D is the sun. So our brown skin, my brown skin, allows the sun to absorb into my system. People without pigment do not absorb the sun. They burn, they fry, they dry out, etc. And black people, brown people with pigment can still get sunburn. It just takes a lot more to be sunburned. However, so and of course, the tribe of Judah was one of the 12 tribes that took possession of the promised land in the Bible. So, but again, there are 12 tribes, like there are noted to be 12. Well, they've diminished the amount of planets to 8, but like there were originally 12 planets, like there are 12 months, like there are 12 zodiac signs. I hope that you are connecting the dots and seeing the repetition in how one belief and one system was broken down into religious practices. And this is very prevalent because a lot of times we don't realize that the things, the theories and spiritual practices of the Bible are far deeper and greater than the Bible, and has been minimized to the Bible, but have come from ancient times where they worshiped the sun, where they understood how important the sun was. So some of the history that Nick Cannon spoke about talked about how the different Homo sapiens became who they are. So he specifically stated that the sun generates the energy in which allows melanated people to be more compassionate, to be more loving, to be more like God, basically. And so if the Jewish people are thought to be initially called Hebrews, were known as Israelites from the time of their entrance into the Holy Land. So this is not even like a birthright, like I want you, and I am reading this because I want you to conceptualize that Judaism is a religion. The prominence of that religion was not being born in the Holy Land, but going into the Holy Land. So, and the difference is, if we're talking Bible, Adam and Eve and Lithia, we're not going to talk about Lithia, but Adam and Eve, or Lilith, it may be Lilith and not Lithia. Anyways, Adam and Eve were made in the Holy Land. Those are the original holy people according to the Bible. Anything after that is I don't want to say an assumption, but they are assuming the role of holy people by going into the Holy Land. So based on this, what I'm reading in ancient times, I don't know how to pronounce this, Yahudui was originally a member of Judah. either of the tribe of Judah, one of the 12 tribes that took possession of the promised land, or the subsequent. Look, maybe this is where my lack of having a high school diploma reveals itself, but I am not the only one that mispronounced words. Subsequent. I can think of the word, but when I see it, it throws off my pronunciation of it. So sequentially, the kingdom of Judah, in contrast to the rival kingdom of Israel to the north, the Jewish people as a whole, initially called the Hebrews, who were called the Hebrews, were known as Israelites. So from the time of their entrance into the Holy Land and the end of Babylonian exile, therefore the term Judas, and it gives you breakdown of all of the French word, Latin word, German word is Jude. It just sounds so much like Judas to me that it really was like, damn, let's go look up some more. Let me see, where it was used to signify all adherents of Judaism, because the survivors of the exile, former inhabitants of the kingdom of Judah, were the only Israelites who had retained their distinctive identity. The 10 tribes of the northern kingdom of Israel had been dispersed after the Assyrian conquest of 721 BCE, and that's not before Corona evolved, and were gradually assimilated by other people. Okay, so long end of the short, Jewish people, the Israelites, the Jewish people as a whole, initially called Hebrews, were known as Israelites. So from the time of the entrance in Holy Land, so they assumed the religion to be seen as holier than thou, and I'm using that holier than thou because holier than you, holier than them, holier than what other people conceptualize as holy. The term Jew is thus derived through the Latin Judaeus, I think it's Judaeus, Judaeus. And I'm saying it like this because it reminds me of Judas. And every time that I see this here and the description of who Jewish people are, every time I say Jews and Judas and Judaeus, all I keep hearing in my mind, and maybe it's because I am currently editing the Judas Theory and Spiritual Human Behavior, but all I keep thinking about is how they control the money or are thought to be more trustworthy with money. And yet and still, their name sounds just like Judas. So, anyways, as we continue, as we proceed to give you what you need, I ain't smoked no weed, but it's on its way, yes indeed. So basically, the latter term is an adjective occurring only in the latter parts of the Hebrew Bible and signifying a descendant of Judah. Judas, Judas, the fourth son of Jacob, whose tribe, together with that of his half-brother Benjamin, constituted the kingdom of Judah. Okay, so basically, in the modern world, the definition of a Jew would be satisfactory to all. To all is virtually impossible to construct, for it involves ethnic and religious issues that are both complex and controversial. In daily life, for example, those who consider themselves Jews are generally accepted as such by Jews and non-Jews alike, even though such persons may not observe religious practices. While all Jews, look, I am reading. If anybody ever doubted my capability of reading, because I like to listen to audiobooks, I'm reading now. I may goddamn fumble over a couple words because I don't like to sit here and read, and I'm conceptualizing my thought process with what I'm reading as I'm reading. So I am trying to get the visualization of what I'm reading while I'm reading. But I'm about to be finished reading this part because I want to go back into the humans, the different types of humans, where the humans come from, and a little bit more on what Nick was talking about in regards to the barbaric ways of unmelanated people. I'll say it like that. Okay, so involves other an example of who themselves. Okay, in daily life, for example, those who consider themselves Jews. Okay, while all Jews agree that a child born of a Jewish mother is Jewish, Reform Judaism goes beyond Orthodox and conservative Judaism in affirming that a child is Jewish if either of their parents is a Jew. From a purely religious standpoint, Gentile converts to Judaism are accepted as Jewish in the full sense of the word. Under Israel's Law of Return, 1950, as amended in 1970, all non-Israelite Jews and Gentiles convert to Judaism are entitled to settle in Israel and receive full Israeli citizenship. However, converts who wish to marry in Israel must demonstrate that they were converted under supervision of Orthodox rabbi approved by country's chief Rabinate. See, this is y'all about to go through this with me, because this is how I end up right clicking and searching up and having 1,000 tabs open. Now, I'm not about to do this now because I really need to get in and go ahead and start editing this book. But when I did that, so I clicked on Chief Rabinate. And in Judaism, a supreme religious authority whose decisions bind all other jurisdictions. The prototype of the chief rabbinate. I'm gonna show you the words so you don't think that I'm tripping. Was Great Sanhedrin of Jerusalem, which until destruction of the Second Temple in AD 70 issued legislation and interpreted Jewish law for all the Jewish people. Okay, so basically that's the person who is over the religion and the country in regards to the Jewish people. Okay. So, it's order to settle as question of personal status regarding marriage and divorce. The Supreme Court of Israel has made Okay. So, let me get back to this. I know I'm recording, but I am not about to be acting because I'm recording. So, but this internet is acting real funny since I'm doing this research. Okay, so I talked about the 12 zodiac signs. I also talked about the 12 planets, and I named them all. So let's talk about the first Homo sapiens. Now, I like to go and define words because people are often misled by a lack of understanding as far as the definition of terms. And most terms, because people are like, well, you just give a meaning to anything. Every word that you know has been given a meaning based on whatever the person that decided to call that word believed. And I say that like that because it is very, when we talk about, and I was thinking about this the other day, when we talk about calling a thing like it is, or the dominion of our words and how life and death are in our tongue. Even when we think about the notation that Adam was able to call things that and give them names, he didn't create the beings. He didn't create alligators. He just named it an alligator. He didn't create certain things. He started naming the things that he's seen and calling them what they would be titled as time went on. So it'd be so hard to just say what it is, because you have to define and help people understand exactly what it is that you're speaking of. So what I am doing now is I am going to try to define for you. Hold on. Let me see, because I did research this. I thought it was on my other phone, though. And I'm sure it was. Okay. It's just sometimes easier to so I want to explain to you a couple of different things. So Homo sapiens are the primates. It means, based on the information that I am looking at, is a Latin word for wise man, the species to which all modern human beings belong. Homo sapien is one of several species groups in the genus of Homo. But it is the only one that is not extinct. Also see human revolution, revolution. It's a revolution, all right, of the evolution of what we know and what we've been told and what they would like for us to believe versus the facts. So Homo sapiens, the only human species to exist that has not died off. Now, what I'm going to do is help you understand the order in which we exist in this land. So humans have, like, a homo is a human man. Is a human. Like, y'all, we have made regular shit be some explicit, perverted, derogatory. And perverted does not necessarily mean sexual. It means a transformation from the original context to whatever the hell we then made it be, for whatever reason we've called ourselves making that be. So I'm a definition person. So humans are basically the primates. I want to define Homo specifically because we feel like, or at some point, it has been made to believe that a homo is a gay person or somebody who has different sexual preferences. And that is so far from the truth. Homo literally just means man. Period. Like, period. Period, Pooh. And I don't even say that shit, but I'm saying that for you. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. There were different types of homos. And you have the upright man, the Homo habilis, the Neanderthals, the humans. Let's I want to, so you got human, upright man, Homo habilis, Neanderthals, a florist man, the Homo, there is, I want you to see this. And I'm showing you this because you need more history on who we are as people. That was not the end. Oh, there was coming to the end. So, I'm going to just show you this little last part. So, we are primates. Primates, I'm going to define that to you. Now, listen. If you can find a previous post of mine where I specifically went through all of this and I talked about how, now I didn't talk about the melanated, I don't know if I talked about the melanated skin and the sun being absorbed and making us more compassionate and all of that. Like, that may be Nick's own little thing on that particular portion. But the history of primates that come from Neanderthals, and when you think about cavemen, so let's talk about this. Who were cavemen? And cavemen, and this is the part that I agree with, because I believe that the people that lived in caves could not endure the sun rays, and that may be, and I don't want to say that that has anything to do with what caused them to not have the pigmentation that brown, black, and other people have, but the history of most people in general are dark complected people, whether it's Moorish, whether it's Asian, whether you're talking about North America, South America. If you really go back and research, the history of the land on earth was one. There was one huge place. And as the evolution, as the world evolved, as Earth evolved, as the universe and the evolution of the universe evolved, the land separated. Now, these are come by way of natural disasters. These are come by way of all different types of things that literally caused the planet to, the Earth, the land of the earth to separate, and for the oceans to form in which we know it today. Now, there are a lot of things that I could say. One of the things that I would like to say is that if there was one land and one body of water, and as it dispersed and things happened to make the world shift, it was named. I don't know who named North America. Probably whoever the European people was that came, whoever was named Americas, because that was a person. That name didn't just come from just anywhere. Whoever went and found places was able to give them names, whether it was people there or not, because North America was originally Spain. Spain and I believe, just Native American land by Moorish people. And then the Spanish people was pushed out by the European people as they began to take over the land. They literally just went and was like, oh, it's more land. We're taking this shit. We're taking that shit. We're taking that shit. We're going to take that shit. And then we're going to put people in here to govern the land so that it can't be taken over by somebody else because we already possess the land. This is how the United States of America was formed. The United States, the corporation on American soil. That's how that was formed. So, yeah. So basically, the whole point of this, because I don't want to go on too long, is I was trying to figure out why they were upset. But they're not upset because this is their natural heritage for the most part. They're upset because they took and made their religion a tribe of the sacred land, and they took on roles. They took on, okay, well, this is the role we're going to play in this. And it may not have been a discussion like that, but when you assume a certain position, they went on with that position. So if you really go and look at the history of humans, you will see a lot of shit that they don't tell us about in school at all. And I believe I looked this up the first time a few years back when I made the Instagram post, and I was talking about what makes people different, because I don't like to just go off of what I've been told. Adam and Eve sounds good, but literally one of the most unnatural, impossible, humanly possible way to conceive or for man or woman to be alive. Now, what I did research and find out is that a sperm, if injected in any living or capable living organism, can grow into a person. So, like, life is so much more than we've been learned to conceptualize it as. It is very baffling, the amount of information that we don't know. But the little information that we've been given in history and religion, that precedence over actual historical facts. This shit is like crazy, for real. Like, if you could really sit with me and we could just research everything, everybody that we know, that we think, and the understanding behind the belief processes that we have, man, you would be baffled. This is how I quit believing in religion as a whole. Because for real, shit ain't nothing like we think it is, for real. Like, we've been given a whole lot of hogwash and been told to believe that based on a conception or somebody's conceptual thought process of how God made the world and what the world should be. Like, instead of going back 5,000 years in history, 500,000 years in history, and really seeing how the world evolved from day one. So here is what they show you when you look at the caveman. He's brown skinned. He's not like white, pale, unpigmented person. So as far as their caveman, make it easy to target, especially when the transplants of the 21st century. Their brutish way of dealing with contemporary situations earn a laugh from commercials and TV shows. They do not understand us modern humans, and the misunderstanding strikes humor gold. But when we cut away the laugh track and the bubbling waves, they're left with something being really settled. Okay, so the world is bigger than what we see. That's the easiest way to break this shit down, because I can go and just show you this shit right here. And when I think about this particular thing, it really makes me think about the tower that they built, or they were trying to build to God in the Bible, which was quote unquote struck down, and then everybody began to speak different languages, and everybody began to get different understandings. When I think about that, I think about the connection that the soul has within us all, and the telepathic notion that if we really get tuned in with ourselves, the ability to be able to identify with someone else with very little words, and if we get rid of all the perceptions and the preconceived notions of life through religion. Religion shapes so much of the world that it is sickening, because religion is the biggest divider of humankind, period. So they talk about the Neanderthals. I mean, I could just show you. Okay, so humans are not just like, we didn't just come from nowhere. I mean, we did, but we didn't. I don't know where the first human would have come from. I believe that Earth is an animal planet that has evolved into what we see now. I also have some beliefs that this planet was, I don't want to say possessed by aliens, but intercepted and invaded to some extent by other beings, and those other beings, procreated with humans, and now we have what we see today, basically. And that's on many levels. So, and this is the one reason why I would love to go to the International Space Station. I believe that that's what Earth is for the most part, an inhabitable planet in which any form of life can exist on, if they can materialize into a human being in which they can live on this planet. Now, of course, this is going way deeper than just him talking about the Jewish and being the original Hebrews. I still believe that what Nick said was 100% facts. I believe that if brown, black people, or people originated from Africa, then brown and black people would be the original, and everything that was created after that was a variation or a break off of trying to conceptualize the way that God saw the world in his eyes. Now, God, I could talk about that all day too, because God, if we are made in God's image, then we are all God within. But until we visit deep within, then we will never really understand who God has created us to be. That's why the biggest discovery that you could have in learning God is to learn more about yourself and see what God created you to be internally. Man, this is really a deep topic that could go on and on and on for ages, but all humans are not equal. We are not the same. There is a reason why we have different variations of blood types, and these are the only blood types that we know to exist today. That does not mean that these are the only blood types that ever existed since the creation or the foundation or the confirmation or the, understanding of the planet in which we reside on and live in. So it's about 15 types of human species to date. But we have to begin to drop the religion, because that's the division of it all. And those that are upset with Nick, they aren't upset with the facts that were stated. They are upset because if you begin to reveal the truth in historical facts, then you take away from their religious control, basically, because nothing that Nick said was false. They don't like for it to be shared in such a way to where it educates people, because when you educate people, you empower people. And if you empower people to know more, then they can do more, and they can see between the divide and conquer mentality that has been thrust upon us. So the real first part of me coming on here was because it really baffles me that Nick went and apologized for stating truthful information. I'm not sure what else was in that recording. I don't know how long that recording was. So I don't know if he said something specifically about the Jewish people or the religious narrative of who the Jewish people are. I know that Minister Farrakhan speaks, I don't want to say harshly, but has his own issues with different religious narratives. But it's all religion, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, being a Muslim does not make you a different type of human. It's a religious construct of the mind in which people believe that really just separates us as people. We are all human. We're all homos. We are all connected on a soul level. I believe we all have souls. Now, whether your soul gravitates to one thing versus another, that's neither here or there. We all have souls. We are all human. We all have hearts. We all have brains. We are soul, heart is one conceptual mechanism. Your brain spirit, your mind spirit is a whole nother conceptual mechanism. And the human body is what encompasses it all. So I don't even really remember where I was going to try to go with this, but I really wanted to give some historical facts and tie some things together, because there's a lot of people that don't believe in astrology, but they believe in religion. And religion is just really, honestly, astrology. Everything that you know and you believe is based on the universe, the planets, the structures of things that we know, and some things that we don't know, because people in the ancient times in history knew things that were beyond us, and the things that they knew, for the most part, have been hidden from you, especially on a spiritual sense, because the more you know spiritually, the less that you are able to be controlled. Now, some of this I know from psychology study and school. Some of this I know from really, literally, like the way I just looked up the history of humans. And it says 7 million years of human evolution. 7 million years is way longer than the Bible can even construct. It's just, we need to know more about being humans on this planet. We need to understand more about life on this planet. We don't need to allow the people that control the media and so on and so forth to control the narrative in which we know to be true and we believe. So, I could say a lot. And then I could say some more. For whatever reason, my internet disconnected, even though I had it set up to connect automatically. So, that could be the man trying to stop me. And I say the man laughingly because, like, there is power. There are powers that be that control a lot of what we see, what we hear, what we think. However, the amount of information that's available online will disqualify everything that you think or know to be true, because the world is bigger than what they've been telling you, basically. So yeah, I wouldn't. Nick is going to retract his statement because he don't own shit. Like, he may own the title, it may be said to be his, but the moment that he had to demand ownership from Viacom, I already knew that he ain't own shit. He might own the rights to some parts of it, but he is not the owner of what the masters. He don't own his own masters. If it's a masters in, he don't own shit. He owns enough to say that he's rich. And he owns his mindset, and he knows the truth. And I really hate that he retracted his statement in order to please the people that pads his pockets, that pay him. But we have to be more knowledgeable about where we come from and the origins of who we are as humans. Like, this shit is deep, bruh. This shit is real deep. And this is one of the reasons why I'd be like, the reason why I believe in aliens, extraterrestrial beings, is because there would not be a label for extraterrestrial beings if it was not a such thing. Just like human beings, extraterrestrial beings, like, there is more to the world than we can see, but it would scare most people because they've been believing a lie for so long that if the truth ever came out, it would turn the world upside down. And not enough people want to know the truth because they're okay with believing the lie. The lie, they've been raised on a lie. So it ain't like when I first started researching why it was so many different religions, why the Bible, why so much, just when I started researching and really trying to find the truth, the rabbit hole was so deep, it overwhelmed me, and I had to stop, and I had to kind of go through it in phases so that I would not be taken back by all the knowledge and the information that I lacked. Some scientists know the truth. There are historians that know the truth. But most of the people that know the truth are exiled by religion because religion controls the truth or the amount of truth that is shared with me and you anyways. I don't want to keep going because I could just go on and on and on for this, but I would definitely suggest that you research and find the commonalities with everything that you believe. And so for some, that's finding the common denominator. The fact that, again, the fact that there are 12 tribes of the Bible, and there are 12 planets, and there are 12 months. And if you continue to look and research, you will begin to see the narrative and the commonalities. You'll see the truth. If you look for the truth, you will find the truth, and the truth will set you free. The parables that you believe are just there to help you see and be blinded at the same time. But if you really ask God to open up your eyes and remove the veil, you will see the truth before your eyes, and you will not be able to deny the truth. Now, you could live with the lie, but the truth will be before you, and you will be free in a way that you've never been free before.
I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live what I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all inside of me is sexual chocolate.
Thank Thank you for joining Speaking Freedom as we continue to assist you with your daily growth and intuitive wisdom. Loving is a lifestyle and we love to love. Inspiration is how we fuel faith. Please join us daily for your inspiration and motivation.
We have the entire world to offer you at your fingertips. Your life enhancement coaching specialist. Thank you for choosing us to assist you in accomplishing your personal and professional goals. And have a beautiful day. In love, we trust. This is brought to you by Good Head Group, Love Gang and Speaking Freedom. We thank God for you, and we love you.